All right, we're just one day out now from UFC 329. Obviously, the return of Conor McGregor, the the biggest fight, probably the most eyes coming in to a fight all year, or the most recent years for the UFC. The biggest star it has ever produced. It's gonna be my predictions for the card from early prelims all the way to the main event. I'll start to break down better once we get there to the higher up fights. But starting off, we have Alessandro Costa versus Cody Durden. Alessandro Costa, I'm gonna just start off with saying Alessandro Costa is 30 years old. Cody Durden is 35. Alessandro Costa is 3-2 in his last five fights, with Cody Durden being 1-4. Alessandro Costa has with three of those two, four of them ended by knockout, and Durden's only win is by decision. So, I mean, obviously that alone just speaks volume. I got Costa winning this by round two TKO, possibly even late round one. That's my first pick. And we're moving into Ryan Gondra and Zachary Reese. This is another thing, kind of like um, Costa here. He's he's a knockout guy. Ryan Gondra is on an 8 fight win streak right now. Six of them by knockout, one by submission, one by decision. And obviously, right there alone, the knockout speaks something. It's six knockouts, the win streak. That alone, it speaks to you. You know, it speaks volume. With Reese, there's not really that much there. There's nothing that really stands out like for Gandra. So I'm taking Gandra by TKO for round, maybe round two, possibly three. If not, then it's gonna have to go to a decision. But Reese has been clipped a lot. We've seen if you go watch his past three fights or something, he's been clipped. We've seen him take big shots, heavy shots, spinning elbows, whatever, and he's been decently shrugging them off. But some of them you can tell it hurts. He shoots instantly right after, and someone like Gandra, I think is gonna put him out, and he's not gonna be able to recover from that. And Fareed Basharat versus John Garza. This is Garza's UFC debut. This is the fight that Ethan Ewing was supposed to be fighting in actually, and unfortunately he pulled out. His head couldn't fit through the venue, they say, but phenomenal boxer. Uh, Looks up to Petr Yan and Ilya Taporia, translates from there, but his head just couldn't fit through the venue, unfortunately. So now we have Basharat versus Garza. I think Basharat's gonna take this one by decision. Uh, More experienced guy. He's the decision merchant. He's gonna come in and he's gonna take him to a decision. I think I got Basharat by decision here over Garza. And moving on to the next fight, up at middleweight, Damian Pinas versus Cesar Almeida. Um, a lot of people are actually picking Almeida for this fight. I'm kind of surprised. He's the older guy. He's 38 years old. Your fighters usually decline after 35. So, he's pushing his 40s, physically decline. Pushing his 40s. Pinas is 24. He's very young. He's on a 6 fight knockout win streak. 6 fight knockout win streak. So, I mean, a 38-year-old Almeida, he has decent striking. I think Pinas is going to knock him out, though, round one, possibly round two. I got Pinas winning this for sure. I mean, maybe Almeida could pull it off. A lot of people are saying Almeida by decision, but I think Pinas is going to be able to knock him out and add a 7 knockout win streak. Now moving on to Tracy Cortez versus Wang Kong. Wang Kong, right? Yeah, Wang Kong. Um, I feel like Cortez is kind of overrated. She her striking's all right. Her ground game's it's all right. It's nothing special. Nothing special speaks out with her. I think Wing Kong's probably gonna try to, I don't know, grapple it. I honestly don't know too much about Wing Kong, but I think Cortez by decision. Um, it could go either way, but I think Cortez is gonna pull it off to a decision. And then up to the prelims, Luke the Fluke Riley versus Kai Kamakas. I don't know much about Kai Kamakas to be honest, so I'm just gonna go with the brunette Patty Pimlet and Luke Riley. I think he'll get that one done. Yeah, Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez. Um, I think uh Cody usually does. It's like the same for Tracy. Cody does fine against the lower end of his division, and then once he faces the top, obviously, he gets mauled by everyone, because everyone at the top of bantamweight right now is amazing. So Cody's more of a lower end of the barrel type of guy right now. He's I think he might do decent in the first half, and then he's gonna do his little running shuffle, the Dominic Cruz, and then and then I think he's gonna eventually get caught by Yanez and slept with his chin. But yeah, I got Yanez winning this one. TKO. Probably I don't really see him making it to decision. Gable Stevenson versus Alicia Ellison. I don't even know who Alicia Ellison is. I think I think they're just giving Gable Stevenson a easy fight for his first one in, since he already has a pretty big name and he's already 2000 minus 2500 on the odds. So definitely the winner here. Not much to say with him. And then for Nikita Krylov versus Robert Whitaker, it's actually gonna be kind of interesting too, cause Whitaker, I'm pretty sure everyone knows he fought in middleweight for basically all his career. He he was pretty small. Like watching his last fight with RDR, he looked tiny in there compared to him. And RDR is shorter than Krylov is, and Whitaker looked small. Like you could tell from the very first from the glove touch, he was super outsized. And that was at middleweight. So this is Robert Whitaker going up to light heavyweight for his first time. And we're gonna see if he's gonna be slower, if he's gonna still be that same guy. And Krylov being a much bigger person, um, Krylov could win round one with something, but more likely than not, I feel like it's probably gonna go to a decision. Robert Whitaker is gonna win the decision here. Gonna outbox Krylov. And because Krylov, he crashes in, you could see last time he got slept, he ran into the punch, and before that he got tagged up or slept as well, and he ran in. It's when he flurries in, he always gets clipped. So I think either that might happen again. Maybe Whitaker could throw an overhand right and catch him as he's coming in, or probably just take him to a decision. More likely than not, it's gonna go there. And then finally, the main card it's all strikers too. So I think they're all gonna end with a finish here, just like the rest of the card. Now, if you know these two guys, Terrence McKinney is literally a younger version of what King Green is right now. Horrible fight IQ, horrible chin, just all around the complete opposite of what you would want to do when being smart in the octagon. Um, McKinney, he has like 26 fights total. I think 24 of them ended by round one finish. Either he got knocked out in the first round, he knocked someone out in the first round, or I think like once or twice got a submission. And Terrence McKinney's actually not too bad for being where he is in the division, but he has horrible fight IQ when it comes to pacing. And King Green fights with his hands at his hips all the way down. His chin is gone. He's old. He's like 38. Uh, just not making it out the first round whatsoever. So if you place a bet, I would place Terrence McKinney round one knockout. It's predictable. It could go either way, but McKinney's the younger Green right now. Both horrible IQ. They're both just bad. Just bad fighters. Green used to be good, but obviously those days are gone. I think McKinney wins this one round one. He's gonna push him up against the fence and then get the knockout. And moving on to the next fight, we got Brandon Royval versus Loney Kavanaugh. It's actually gonna be one of the best fights of the card. We got two flyweights. Kind of a big height difference. It doesn't sound like it, but when you see them in person, it's gonna be big height difference. 5'9" versus 5'6". Uh, you know, I'm taking Kavanaugh on this. I think Kavanaugh's more in the uprise. He's, he just came off that good win off of Marino. He's doing good. He's definitely going up, 100%. And then with Royval, it's kind of different. We see him. He's coming off a loss. It says right there. He just got knocked out by Manel Cop, who's like 5'5" or 5'6". He just went through a war with Joshua Van, who's 5'5", and he got dropped at the very like what last minute of the fight, and he would have got finished if the fight didn't end. But the two last high caliber guys in the division that are also around the 5'6" mark, they messed up Royval bad, or he had a really hard time. And you think with with the tall frame and the rest of the flyweights being small, you use your height to back him up, keep him on the back foot, use your distance, keep that jab out there, and and just and just prioritize being on the front foot rather than on the back, so that they had to close the distance on you. But Royval doesn't do that. He fights on the back foot a lot. He goes for the dominant position. He goes for the front foot pressuring, but then eventually he gets overwhelmed a little bit. He fights on the back foot for a lot of the fights when he shouldn't. And I think that's what he did against Van. And when he got dropped against Van, he was moving backwards. When he got knocked out against Manel, he was moving backwards, and he was in the corner. So I think Kavanaugh's gonna if he could pressure him to go back, Kavanaugh's definitely gonna win. Just like Manel, just like Van, an amazing striker, same height, good, is coming up in the division, and Royval's kind of on the decline. He's not at all washed, but he's definitely not going up. So I think Royval's gonna lose. Kavanaugh maybe by TKO, but more likely than not decision. And then Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Bautista. These two actually fought years ago, like 5 years ago, a while ago. And Corey subbed Bautista, but um, I mean it's different now. Bautista's gotten way better. So is Sandhagen, but uh, a lot of improvements by Mario Bautista. Certainly worked his way up a lot. Tough competition. Umar, he just came off of a loss with Umar. Or no, he didn't just come off a loss with Umar, sorry, with Oliveira. And before that, he fought Umar and, faced Aldo, people like that. And Corey Sandhagen just came off of a loss with Marab. So kind of a similar camp with as far as training for takedowns, getting back up, keeping the distance. So I think I could see Sandhagen taking a decision win here. I think Sandhagen's gonna. I mean, he has the pressure. He has to be on the front foot. Try not maybe not to throw as many kicks, but I think Sandhagen can get a decision win in this one. I don't see a finish from either of them at all. Now we got Benoit Saint Denis versus Paddy Pimlet. I think this is gonna be probably the second best fight of the night. If McGregor and Holloway doesn't end early, I think this is gonna be the second best fight of the night. Um, I mean, everyone knows BSD coming off the submission for Dan Hooker. He mauled Rufy. He's on a 4-fight win streak right now, and you know everyone knows his double legs are very sloppy. As in he leaves his neck open for guillotines. And with Paddy, I forgot what fight it was. I think it was the Bobby Green fight. Um, Bobby shot a double leg on him, or he shot towards his hips, and Paddy jumped on the guillotine, and then he transitioned to I forgot, I think it was a leg triangle that he transitioned to, and it was all so quick. And from the scramble, Paddy just maintained dominant position the whole time, and eventually he got the finish. But I think this is such a tough fight to call, probably the toughest fight on the card. But after the Moicano fight, BSD got busted up bad. The doctor had to stop it, and ever since that fight, in the interview, BSD said that he's never gonna let someone get the first takedown on him now, and he's gonna be the one to shoot first because Moicano shot on BSD first, and he messed him up bad. So I think heading into this fight, with someone like Paddy, and the way he ended Chandler, being he ended Chandler being on top of him, smashing him in. So I think BSD is gonna obviously gonna recognize that, and I think he's gonna shoot first on Patty within the first minute of the fight. I think they're gonna meet in the center. Patty's gonna fight on the back foot as usual, just like he did against the Verdamini guy, and just how he did against Gaethje, just how he did against Chandler, just how he did against Bobby. And all his fights, go watch any single one of them right now. He's always on the back foot, circling the octagon. He's always on the back foot, and obviously once he hurts them, then he forward pressures. But most of the time, he's on the back foot. So I think that's how this fight's gonna go. I think obviously meeting them at center of the octagon, BSD's gonna pressure forward. He might flurry in with some punches, and then Patty's gonna get backed up against the fence. BSD's gonna shoot, and Patty's gonna jump on the guillotine immediately. And if he doesn't get it, he'll transition to a leg triangle. He doesn't get it there, he's gonna transition to something else, something else, something else. Or just get the dominant position and try to smash him in from there, just like Moicano did, and ride out the round. And you see, I think BSD could win this if he kept it standing, if he kept it striking, just like Gaethje, because Patty's striking is not good, especially against like high level opponents. And BSD's up there. I mean, he's not the highest, but he's up there. And I think he could win if he kept it striking. But BSD is just wired, and all his fights is it's the same thing against Poirier, against Rufy, against Dan Hooker, against Moicano. It's strike and then go to the ground. And if you can't get the ground, he stands back up, he strikes, and he goes right back to the ground. I think that's what this is gonna be like. Especially because we've seen Patty get taken down so easily. We've seen Chandler pick him up and throw him on the ground on his head like 3 or 4 times that fight. Twice in the same round. We've seen Gaethje, obviously he hurt him and he kept him down. I think BSZ is gonna do the same thing. He's gonna flurry you with strikes. Patty's gonna be backed up, and then he's gonna shoot the takedown on him. And then from there, Patty's either gonna get the submission or fail, and it'll go into the next round, and then he'll get the submission. And if he somehow doesn't get the submission, I think it'll go to a decision for probably BSD. But BSD by decision or Patty by submission. BSD is kind of a sloppy ground game, but I think one of those two, BSD by decision or Patty by submission, for sure. Yeah, and now we're at the main fight, the Mystic Mac, Conor McGregor versus Holloway, Max Holloway. This fight, to be honest, it's one of those fights where you kind of know what's gonna happen, but then you get that thought like a what if, and then you kind of backtrack a little bit, you know. Um, so much, but weaknesses. For start off with weaknesses. One with McGregor, once he gets on the back foot, he's comfortable on the back foot. He's fine. But once they flurry into him, we've seen it against Poirier in two. We've seen it against Poirier in three. Once they flurry in and they kind of rush him with punches, you can see him. He kind of just shows up. He crumbles. He gets it back against the fence, and he takes it, and then he falls, and he doesn't do well. That's usually where the fight ends. Um, Poirier flurried in. They got into the exchange with the leg kicks, and then McGregor folded back. In Poirier two, the bald McGregor, he went in. Poirier flurried in. He caught him with an uppercut. McGregor stumbled, and then Poirier handed, just whooped him from there, and they called the fight. And so that's one big weakness from McGregor. When they flurry in, he crumbles with pressure. Obviously, not every time, but when they do it right, he crumbles with it. Another thing, the 5 year layoff. Obviously, Connor's been coked out on the yacht, doing whatever, taking the court, cheating on his wife, doing whatever. Um, 5 year layoff from the sport. He came back from Poirier on I think it was like a 2 year layoff, maybe three, and he got whooped. So It's coming off a 5 year against Max Holloway, taller. Um, you know, uh, I don't know. Holloway's been active. He's been fighting the best of the lightweight. He's been fighting Charles, a withered Poirier, Topuria, Gaethje, tough guy. We see Holloway likes to flurry in a lot, and and so we got the flurrying in as one weakness for McGregor. The 5 year layoff. He couldn't even handle a 2 or 3 year layoff, and now he's coming back to almost doubling it. And then number three would be, I mean, the cardio, right? Cardio has always been a thing with McGregor since his early UFC fights to his most recent UFC fights. Gas me for air, big heavy breaths, and he doesn't even wrestle. He just stands up and strikes, and he's gassed. By the end of by round two, you start seeing him to take big breaths and fatigue a little bit. And obviously, Holloway has amazing, phenomenal cardio. He could go. He strikes in round five as if he's striking in round two or three. He looks good, and he could do it. He could do it forever. That's him, and that's McGregor's biggest weaknesses: the the layoff, the cardio, and the I forgot the first one that I said, but I don't know. You could rewind and go back and check it out. But that's definitely McGregor's biggest weaknesses for him. And moving on to Holloway's weaknesses, obviously he's been fighting the best of the best, right? But ever since Topuria knocked him out, he knocked him out, messed him up, took his chin, and he fought a withered Poirier, like a retirement fight Poirier that dropped him maybe 2 or 3 times. He dropped. He was able. Old Poirier was able to drop a a prime Max Holloway, and I don't want to hear nobody saying that he's past his prime. He's still 34. He's up in weight now. He's doing better. So he got dropped by Poirier. So his chin's gone. The Max, he had power. We don't know if he has it still. It's been 5 years since we last seen him punch somebody. So besides the mascot, but besides that, we uh we haven't seen if he has the power still. So that could be a factor. If McGregor still has the power and Holloway doesn't have his chin anymore, he could get messed up bad. In a what if in a lucky world we could see a McGregor knock out Holloway since his chin is gone. And the second weakness for Holloway would be being up to 170. I mean, Holloway has always been a 145er. He's he's seen so dominantly, obviously in featherweight because he's long, he's tall, he's bigger than all featherweights, obviously with an exception of Yair. Um, I mean, he's able to do what Conor used to do at featherweight, keep the range, be such a tall, lengthy guy than all the other guys in that division. So then when we see him go up against someone like Yair, who gave Holloway trouble, we see him go up against someone like Charles. Obviously, not really because of the height and the distance, but the ground game more so. But still, same size. Gave him trouble. We seen him go up against Poirier. Gave him trouble. That's probably because Poirier took his chin. But still, when he faces these guys with similar reach as him, and Connor has the reach advantage, it's a bit tougher of a time than it is for the guys at featherweight. So that's something. Um, maybe, and Connor likes to do a little pit pat thing. He likes to reach his hands out there and like feel, and then send out the strike. So um, we're probably gonna see a lot of that from Connor. Max doesn't have as many weaknesses as Connor does, though. He's been active. He's been training. He's been in the game. No, well, obviously that we know of, no substances. He doesn't really drink like that or take anything. Always ready. And Connor hasn't been like that at all. So, I mean, in a perfect world, and if Connor's really locked in, which still would be like 100 to 1 odds, I could see Connor. I mean, we've seen it a lot against Taporia, where Holloway flurries in to go land a like a 1-2 combo, and he backs up, and then he does it again. Um, we've seen it a little bit with Gaethje. He throws some combos and he backs up, gives some space. With Connor, you had to flush him out. You had to throw combos because he can't handle that. He doesn't handle that well. So, um, I mean, if obviously Max picks up on that, he could finish it early, late round one, round two. Um, if Connor could, if he has the power, if he even has the power that he had back then, one. I mean, we last display of it was against Cerrone. We seen him clip Poirier with some good strikes. He was doing good. He was doing good for the first round for Poirier, the last two fights. Obviously did it phenomenal against Cerrone. Knocked him out, TKO. But I mean, 5 years later, we don't know if he even has it anymore. So we got to see, and we just got to see. I think very slim chances Connor could knock out Holloway. Holloway has no chin anymore. He's with the right punch, he could be put down. Same thing, most likely for Connor. Holloway's gas tank is way better. Realistically, Holloway round two, maybe round three TKO. Um, for Connor, it would have to be round one or two for TKO. But those are my full fight predictions for the whole card. I'll be releasing another video tomorrow or or maybe tonight. I don't know. Sometime later, I'll be releasing another video about more breaking down the Connor and Holloway fight and the Paddy and BSD fight, showing the fights and what I'm talking about, so it could be more specific. But that's everything. I think a lot of these picks are going to be really accurate. Um, yeah, so definitely check out the next video that's coming up. It should release a few hours after this one. So or maybe in the morning of the fight, but definitely check it out. Make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. Especially I'm going to be uploading more for the next Islam fight coming up. So make sure to subscribe and keep track for that. I'll be here. I'll be uploading. Thank you.